Go to Twin Falls, Idaho. Our lead investigative reporter is on the scene, Lee Stranahan. He has a horrific story. Every theme that is important in this presidential race is in this. In the particular, you can tell the general. That's why we've got Lee Stranahan on the case. Lee, tell us what's going on with this horrific story out of Twin Falls.
Well, back on June 2nd, Steve, a couple months ago now, there was an incident here in Twin Falls, Idaho. Twin Falls, just to put it in perspective, Pacific Northwest, up near in southern Idaho, near the northern border of Nevada and Utah. And so a 5-year-old girl who is developmentally disabled was raped by she was raped by 2 boys, basically, and a third one filmed it. This happened at their apartment complex. Now, as horrible as that is, part of the reason this is news is the circumstances that led up to it. There's a reason this is a national story. These 3 boys were refugees. They were refugees, and they were brought into the Twin Falls area for a specific reason. There's been an influx of refugees in this area, and a lot of it has to do with economic incentives that have been put into place by the local government and the federal government to hire refugees to work here. And so refugees have become a source of cheap labor. The local food processing factories, when they hire a refugee, they get part of their pay reimbursed by the government. So therefore, there's more incentive to hire a refugee than there is to hire an American. Does that make sense? And so what we've seen in Twin Falls here, and we're going to be covering all of this in the past, what we've seen in Twin Falls here in the past few years has been this massive influx of refugees, and specifically, it's really changed just in the past 2-3 years. Now, the local residents were upset about this, but of course, when they get upset about it, they're called racist, they're attacked. And there's a variety of reasons that this is happening, but part of it is just that economic incentive that they have. So we had this assault back on June 2nd. Now, you'd think that, a crime involving a little girl who was, I'm going to get graphic here a little bit, but there's no way to avoid it, was orally raped, anally raped by these refugee kids.
Didn't they also urinate on her?
They also urinated on her. And
she was, I want to make sure, by the way, if you got kids in the car going to school, I apologize, but this has to get out, and we're going to get it out.
Yeah,
she was raped anally. She was raped orally. They urinated on her. They degraded her. This is a 5-year-old, developmentally, struggling little girl, raped in her apartment complex, and then urinated on.
She was born premature, by the way. The reason she's developmentally disabled, she was born 2 months premature, and so she's 5, but she's got the mentality and physically is like a 3-year-old right at this point. So the outrage here is, aside from what's happened to her, is the mainstream media has not covered this story, and when they have covered the story, websites like Jezebel, Slate, but even the Washington Post, Steve, have attacked the people in the town who are concerned about this refugee crisis. They have used this as an example. Oh, look at the horrible racist here. They got this story wrong. This is a hoax. Jezebel literally said it's a hoax. It's a fake story. And they've used it to attack the town and to attack Donald Trump and to say these people are, it's criticisms. We know the criticisms. These people are low information voters, they're hobbits, that kind of thing, right? That's the way the town people have been attacked. And so this horrific crime and the economics that really led to that's what you and Michael Patrick Leahy, your wingman on this, are going to be showing how this is an organized program of the federal government and corporatists to change the makeup of small town America.
This
That's
is
right.
And what's happening in Twin Falls is happening throughout this country, and we're going to get to the bottom of it, and we're going to hold accountable who's going to be held accountable. The day where they can spin out of this kind of stuff is over. We get guys like Stranahan. This guy's like a pit bull. You get Stranahan out there, they're going to be public officials. There's going to be guys at University of Southern Idaho. They're going to be guys in the Mormon Church. There's going to be guys at that city council and the mayor and that guy, the editor of the paper. We got Stranahan out there, and we're going to let him off the chain.
Yeah, well, no, Steve, I mean, we put the resources into it, time and resources into this, because this is a story that hits on a number of things, including the fact, let's face it, in this election, we are not running against Hillary Clinton. We're running against the mainstream media.
Yeah.
If the mainstream media would just play this stuff fair, if they would just do their jobs,
they're not going to do that.
Just do their damn job.
Lee, we got to jump. I know, but you've got other reports coming today. In fact, Lee's going to stay out there. This story is so big. It's in a small town, but by the way, in the particular, you can tell the general. This story is the beating heart of what this election's about. That's why Lee Stranahan and a team with Michael Patrick Leahy and other of the top investigative reporters of Breitbart is all over Twin Falls, Idaho. And I'm telling you something, and the folks out there, particularly that newspaper editor, the mayor, and the people have been covering this up and been mocking and ridiculing people that want justice for this little girl. That day is over. Lee, thank you very much. Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, Stephen. We got to give a shout out to Pam Geller for the work she's done on this story.
Pamela Geller's been unbelievable.
Alive, yep.
She's been a warrior. She always is. Pamela Geller.